welcome everybody to another Smart Talk episode. We are so happy to see you all here. Hey guys, how you doing?
Hello. Good. How's it going?
How do?
We
Good.
haven't introduced ourselves in a while, so I want to start with Aurea McGarry because she is one of the top philanthropists in Atlanta, and she is also an Emmy award-winning television star. So just want to give you a shout out because
say all this.
she's the one. Yeah, she's the one that brought all this together. So she deserves accolades that she would not give herself. So.
Oh, and look, there's her Emmy strategically placed over her right shoulder.
Yes.
Oh, isn't that convenient?
Yes.
Well, you know what? We're going to be submitting this show to some awards because we've got Tellys and Davies and all sorts of stuff. I think more people need to
She's got
see it.
Tellys and Davies and Emmys, and she's just trying to help Mark and I along. Right?
I've got the postcards where I was nominated, but you know.
Yeah, Mark's
nice.
two-time nominated for.
I've never been
Emmys.
nominated.
Yeah.
Well, I was
Always the bridesmaid, never the bride.
You gotta be a bride.
Oh,
We're gonna fix that.
You know what I
Stuff
call that,
happens.
Aurea? You know
What?
what I call that, Aurea? A random act of kindness that you're trying to help me
Boom.
and Mark
Aw.
get an award in
Right.
television.
Slumming with
Thank
us.
you.
Slumming
There you
with
go.
you. I am not slumming. But look at Melissa go with such a perfect segue to what this show is all about. You think she was a professional, has done this before. We're actually going to talk about random acts of kindness. And we're going to start off with something I found in Forbes, because we really want to talk about, we're going into springtime. We just had Mardi Gras and Lent, and some things are happening in our world that have caused a lot of stress. And we want to kind of look up, does it make a difference whether you actively are a kind person or a philanthropist, or if you actively have a stronger faith and spirituality? Does that make a difference in our health and our resilience too? We've been going through this quarantine, this COVID for way too long now. And so I just looked up on Forbes, and they happen to have a quote here. We're going to open up this conversation. It says, there's ample reason to believe that faith in a higher power is associated with health in a positive way. For example, researchers at the Mayo Clinic most studies have shown that religious involvement and spirituality are associated with better health outcomes, including greater longevity, coping skills, and health-related quality of life, even during terminal illness, and less anxiety, less depression, and less suicidal thoughts and attempts. Several studies have shown that addressing the spiritual needs of the patient may enhance recovery from illness. What do you all think about that?
Well, can I
go ahead.
testify? First of all?
Yeah.
Can I testify?
Please.
Listen, so I asked you guys if we could push our recording back today to accommodate a meeting I had today, and I met with a good friend of mine. And don't you know, our lunch meeting today consisted of us talking about our rituals that involve prayer, affirmation, positive self-talk. Now, this man's story is even more compelling than most. He beat stage 4 cancer, and he did it with prayer. And he will tell you that to this day. He said there were times, because he had been a successful corporate executive, lost everything just about because of illness, which should never happen in the richest country on the planet.
Yeah.
And there were times when they didn't have food. And you know what? They would pray and food would show up. People would show up. And he said it was simply because he believed in a higher power and he had faith that he's here with us today. And now he's doing amazing. He was talking with me today about all the plans he has for the future. And this is a second go round for him. He's in his mid-60s, and he is as buoyant as he's ever been and excited about what he's doing. So yes, and the Mayo Clinic is no slouch, by the way. If you get anything when it regards to sickness, you want to go to the Mayo Clinic because they're the best at what they do. So
that's for sure.
I believe and I've witnessed.
I love it.
I come from a background where I had a fantastic religious role model in my father, who was a very devout Christian, but not in the negative way that we see today. So I come from a background, because I'm a lesbian, that the church has told, certain facets of the church have told me that I've been going to hell for decades. So I've had an internal conflict with the religious body, because I think that if you are a true Christian or a true Buddhist or a true Islam, you are a a faithful person, then you are spreading love and you're spreading joy. But the religious body, I have to say, there needs some PR in the Christian church because you haven't been spreading too much joy. With that being said, my father, who was the religious rock in our family, there were so many times in his life that he relied on Jesus in particular. He would talk about him as if he was his best friend. And my father died from lung cancer. And even going through the end, like he just was at peace. Yeah, he was scared, he was terrified of the
Sure.
unknown,
Mhm.
but I could see firsthand that his faith is what helped stabilize him, to keep him from the edge, to keep from going insane, to keep from fully falling apart. And he had, I'm happy to say, a very peaceful death. So
Aw.
I do think that it doesn't have to be Christianity. It doesn't. My father also was a Korean War vet. One of the things he told me once as a teenager is there's no such thing as atheism. And I thought, well, how small-minded of you. I'm this, this activist teenager who's bucking against her dad. And he said, well, you don't understand what I'm saying. He said, you don't have to have faith in God necessarily, but you have faith in something. So he was
Right.
talking about how the men under his leadership, because he was the head of his platoons, that if they lost their life, they were always reaching out for something at the end. And he said, it could be your mom, it could be God. He said, but that you have faith in something in this world, and that's what you need to hold on to. So with that being said, everything you talked about, Aurea, whatever it is that brings you joy and happiness, that you have faith that gives you a bigger purpose, then that is something I think that improves your life.
And you said
Absolutely.
something, Melissa, was one reason why I brought us together in this show is because being a Christian, and most people know my story that I'm a walking miracle, and they took out my vocal cord nerve and told me I'd never speak again above a faint whisper. And as you can see, I'm speaking. I'm not singing anymore. And I sometimes sound like a chicken, but that's beside the point. I am speaking. I should not be doing this. So I do believe in miracles. But Melissa, you said something very profound, that Christians are commanded to love. And it shouldn't have to be commanded of us. It comes naturally to people like Mark and I, and we wish more people, because for us to judge anybody, I just think is terrible. So I want to show people that there is love for everybody. It just breaks my heart when I hear you saying, and I knew what you and your entire community go through and been through. And it's like, I want to show what true love is and what true Christianity is, because we all could point a finger at anything any of us do. And that's the way that when Jesus walked on earth, it said, we all are doing something that somebody could judge us for. So stop. Love people.
And I think that's the frustration that we're feeling right now,
Mm.
especially in this COVID lockdown environment, is that we want to put our faith in Christianity, but we see the way it's been perverted through a political lens. And so it makes us jaded. And you're like, well, why do I want to put my faith in something that they're using to justify, taking babies at the border and separating? You can't have it both ways. You can't be acting very Christ-like and separating families, or support separating families, right? You can't be acting very Christ-like when people are saying, hey, let's stop gunning down unarmed people, who are not resisting arrest in this. We're supposed to be spreading love.
Well, you said something, Mark, most people don't think of. Christian means Christ-like,
Right.
and you have to see how did Christ do that? Was he going around spreading hate? And, no, he was loving everyone. Remember that? People that the scribes and the churches weren't loving on.
Well, I will tell you, I've said this before, that, my father was the very one I was worried about talking to about my sexuality when I came out in my mid-20s. I waited till my mid-20s to come out because I was afraid of what my family would say, and in particular, what my father would say. And so he was the last one I had lunch with, having this conversation with, and his very words to me were, Jesus would have never rejected you, so why should I?
Oh my gosh.
So,
you told us that story before, and I remember I've actually shared it with friends, because that's what parents do. They're genetically programmed to love us no matter what we do, no matter what mistakes we make. I've told you guys 1,000 times, my son is not in a place that I ever imagined he'd be, in a Georgia prison. And every chance I get, I let him know there are people out here, us, that still love you, that still support you, that are still rooting for you. And you need to remember that each and every day you get up in the morning and look forward to the future, and understand that there are people out here that can forgive you,
Mhm.
and are here to help you and accept you, even with your fault and even with your mistake. None of us are perfect.
Right. And
None of us are
his
perfect.
thing was a mistake. I mean,
Well,
he,
right.
Mhm.
Well,
you know,
and the other thing too is, and of course, I mean, Mark was not saying this, but I'll just say that it had nothing to do with the fact that being gay is a mistake. Like, like
right,
I know
Right,
that you were
right,
taking it to a
right,
different level, but
right.
um, I also think that going back to Aurea's point in Forbes about, holding on to something, see, like for your son, I don't know if that's the case, but as an example, let's say that your son would use you as that faith, right?
Right.
That, it doesn't, again, if you or somebody
holding
that
on to
has
hope.
if you have a conflicted feeling of religion, people can be that hope that makes you a happier person too. Something that's bigger than you. Could be a relationship, could be your children, that you step up for your children. So, I mean, to me, there's so many layers of what you could hold on to as hope that a lot of people don't. And I think that random acts of kindness, we find that when you do something for somebody else,
Oh,
it does make you feel better. And I do think the universe is rewarding you for that, because the universe needs you to be kind to people. There's a reason why you feel good about it, because that's what you're supposed to be doing.
it's like meant to be. Things are all right, all right with the world when you're being good and not bad. You're
Right.
sharing goodness and
Well,
not feeling hate and all that horribleness. And I don't know how people get
negative
through
energy.
anything. Yeah.
Yes.
When I had cancer, I was like, I don't know how people can go through it thinking I'm it. There's nobody else to lean on, and somebody bigger, even bigger than your family, bigger than
Mhm.
anyone you can see in that spirituality. And for us, it's God. We believe there's something bigger than this world that we know has us in the palm of their hand, whatever that spirituality looks like. Because imagine just not having any faith in anything. I mean,
Can't.
that's
And there's
just,
some
I
people
can't
that
imagine it.
don't.
I
And
know.
there's some
Right.
people that don't because they've been so disappointed by events.
Right.
Mark, mentioned vibes and energy, bad energy. I mean, for some people, like your friend that you had lunch with, Mark, what it makes me
Mhm.
think about is, the idea that the energy you put in the world is the energy you get back, is the
Get
law of
back. Yep.
attraction, right?
Yep.
So
Oh
some
yeah,
people
goes around,
believe in the
comes
law of
around.
attraction. And so it sounds to me like with your friend, that's the very thing. So I do think that when you've lost hope, it's not a coincidence that you have bad things happen around you, because
Mhm.
that's the vibe you're putting out. And I think that, kind of forwarding the story here with the random acts of kindness, I don't think it's an accident that Random Acts of Kindness Day is on Ash Wednesday, or was on Ash Wednesday
Right.
this year, because it's
Yeah.
the middle of winter. It's in the
Right.
middle of a time where people are depressed already. Like, I'm glad that Martin Luther King's birthday was in January, because the day of service that we do for MLK Day hits at a great time where we're
Yep.
right after Christmas and after the holidays, and we're feeling kind of low. So I'm sad that it takes something like that to propel us to do random acts of kindness, that you have to feel
Right.
low to do it. We got to get to the point where we don't have to have anything bad happening for us to do that,
For us to
right?
do it.
Do it
Yeah.
all. Don't wait for a
Well,
national day to do something kind. Do it.
I mean, Houston is the perfect example. And you always see such shining stars in the midst of disasters. Like, I mean, people are literally dying,
Mm.
because of, this
Snowstorm.
snowstorm and this incredible weather event.
Mm.
But look at the amazing soul. You saw the sheriff's deputies in Harris County pay for a hotel room for a family that couldn't afford it. You saw, volunteers at a senior center making breakfast tacos.
Right.
You saw people providing bottles of water. You saw people doing whatever they could to help their neighbor.
Mhm.
And then on in the same breath, on the same Twitter feed, we saw, the perversion of
Mm.
it,
Right.
and people
Oh,
running off to take care of themselves
of
and
course.
look out for self.
And
So, but again, are you going to focus on that negative part of the story, or are you going to focus on all these good people who are raising money, who are
Right.
donating their
Mhm.
time, who are driving people, to safety and warmth? The furniture store guy who opened up his furniture store just so people could come in, sleep on his brand new mattresses and couches and chairs,
I love that.
and get some warmth and get some heat.
And
That story almost made me cry.
oh
Yeah.
gosh, yeah. And it's funny. We see this. I want to get people's mind on something else too. during these times that are very polarized that we're seeing on the news, I think it's even more easy to be good and do kindness. But I had a real, true, random act of kindness happen to me, and you both will relate to. Yeah, I've been having some bad days lately, and I think a real random act of kindness isn't when we're seeing. We want to always do kindness when we see people in need. That's all. Yes, let's pull together. We want to do that, but a total random act of kindness. I challenge you all to do. Somebody did it to me just 2 weeks ago, and I didn't have a chance to mention it. I was literally in the car driving through Starbucks with a listener friend and having a really bad day. Nobody knew that I was having a bad day, but just a lot of crying, a lot of tears, driving through, and let's just love her Starbucks, driving through, get up there, they do the order. They said, oh, no charge. The truck in front of us paid for it. And when you're that vulnerable and having that bad a day, I just started to cry. Because
Paying it
do you
forward.
think that the truck guy in the rearview mirror saw you
no,
crying?
because I wasn't crying in the car. I was totally fine in the car.
Oh,
I'd
because
already been. I'm in
yeah.
the car. We've got the little car with big truck. I don't even think they could see me. It was one of those
Aw.
things they just decided, and it is a goes around, comes around probably moment. But when you do things randomly, that just because, and nobody will ever know who you are, I'll
Right.
never know who that person was. They have no idea that I needed it at that moment. I kind of think of them as God winks, but we can be the God wink to somebody
That's a
every
great
day and do a
term.
little something. Don't wait till something big happens to go. I mean, do it still then, of course, please. But every day, you never know. You could just make somebody's life better by a total random act of kindness. And they may never know who you are, but you just did something like that. And that really
Right.
just made my day. And this was a
Well,
perfect opportunity to tell you about it.
Well, I think that's wonderful. It reminds me of a book that I got for Christmas that is part of an Instagram feed that I found during 2020, and it's called The Happy Broadcast.
You would tell
So,
us about that.
yes, and I'm going to bring
Yes,
it up again because they
please.
promote random acts of kindness. But the Happy Broadcast is the underscore happy underscore broadcast on Instagram. And I don't know why underscore had I had to tilt my head.
Underscore.
Yeah, exactly. And so they give good news. They just give
Right.
good news, and on
Great.
Sundays they give you several stories of good news. But one of the things they suggest people do is random post-it notes and put it on your elevator. Put it, just that says, "Hey, you got this. You're having, I hope you have a great day." Like some really nice
Yes.
message, and leave it somewhere. And then I think in the past, when I was younger, I was inspired to, I don't know if I left money in a grocery store shelf, or like I'm just trying to think of random, because when it hits you,
Yeah,
you just,
cute.
I don't know, you
You
just
just
do
do
it.
it.
You
Yeah.
just
I
do
like
it.
that idea.
And
Yeah.
it's just whatever it is, because I do think that the people who need to find it will find it.
Mhm.
Right.
Right.
So the people who
I
need the help will get the help.
I
and
love
I
that.
remember, I'm a big proponent of starting in the home. And I'll never forget one Christmas when we lived in Detroit, we had adopted a family, and you bought the family all their wish list, and then you bought them the trimmings for their Christmas tree,
Hmm.
the
Oh,
decorate this because it was for the working poor.
mm,
And so I remember taking the boys up there, and Malcolm thought it was playtime. I was like, no, these are for families. They're going to come pick up their Christmas. And and they were like, well, I thought you said they have jobs. Well, everybody doesn't have a great job where they can afford Christmas. And it was kind of the first time my boys had well, doesn't everybody go to Disney every year? No,
Right.
yeah.
that's
Right.
not how it works. But I
Mhm.
wanted to get them into the spirit of giving and having awareness about other people's lot in life. And don't you know, it paid off, because Kenny, my oldest, when we moved to Atlanta, that year, his friend that he made that summer told him that his mom couldn't afford Christmas. And he came home, and he pulled me and my wife aside, and he said, I got a bunch of gifts under the tree. Can I give some to my friend, because he's not going to be having Christmas?
Oh,
Oh,
And I was
that's
like,
great.
you can give him everything you want to under that tree. And, we can go out and get you another Christmas. And he's like, no, we don't have to do that. And I was like,
Oh,
and so, we felt like we were doing the right things as parents, because these are the lessons we were trying to teach,
and he did well.
and that's why I always say it starts at home,
It
right?
does.
Because
mhm.
those are the most important influences, that you have and that you can make and have on your children. So,
And
you
there's
know,
levels and there's ways you can do it, because I do think that what prevents a lot of people from doing it is stranger danger. Like we have gotten
right,
into such a culture of stranger danger
right.
since I was a kid. Because when I was young, it was gosh, I
Heck,
forgot
we
his
were
name, but
young.
John Walsh's son.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
I remember
Wa-
that.
that was my age, and so when he got killed, that was when all the kids couldn't just
America's Most Wanted.
roam around the neighborhoods anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
and for those who don't know, America's Most Wanted, the reason he started that show is because his own child got killed, and the crime was not closed for like 20 years or so.
And
Right.
that crime was so bad. I mean, that was like the year like Angel was born. And I remember or like 1 or 2 years before. And I just hung on to my little baby girl because not only was he abducted, he was abducted by a Satanist who cut off his head.
Yeah.
And I have wanted to
That was
honor
frightening.
like the worst parent's nightmare. And I've been wanting to honor John Walsh at my Legacy Summit for years. He's one of those people that I know that will come around, because imagine going through that experience and still turning your life around for good, had more children, made a difference in this world, when he so could have crawled under a rock and said the
And
world
just
is
giving
bad,
up.
people
Yeah.
are bad,
And
and
he-
being an alcoholic. And him and his wife stood up and used that horrific moment in their life experience that everybody would have given them a carte blanche to say, just go drink. We
Right.
understand. Grieve the rest of your life. But you can still grieve, but still make a difference. And look what he did. He changed the world, how we solve crime.
Well, he paid it forward. He
really did.
his act of kindness was to use his own tragedy and to save the lives
Help
of
others.
others and help other
And
families.
yes,
And the fact that he and his wife are still together, to me,
I
is a
know.
testament to maybe the higher
A
self, the
belief
faith
in a
that you
higher
talk,
authority.
that you talk about, because how they survived that and stayed together
Mhm.
is, to me, I think they deserve a lot of credit for that. But
Yeah.
so
Know his number. Have him call me. I want to honor him on my stage.
but yes, but I do think again that stranger danger, because I mean it's real,
Mhm.
keeps a lot of people from doing those things. But there are ways that you can still do random acts of kindness and not put yourself in a vulnerable position if you're somebody who has that fear.
Right.
Yes, lots of
Right.
different ways we could do, lots of different things.
Mhm.
And we're talking about we're in like this springtime, and we just finished Fat Tuesday and Mardi Gras and all that good stuff. And now, of course, if you're Catholic, which I'm not personally Catholic, but I did go to Catholic school, my mom and grandmother were, I know a little bit about Lent and about giving things up during this 40 days. And my philosophy is do it anytime you want. And there's things you can give up that I saw this really kind of like 10 ideas to do during Lent, but doesn't matter what faith you are or whether you're, like you said, atheist or not, doesn't matter. Giving up some of these could be a good thing just to do, because I thought they were really kind of interesting. It's not the normal.
I can't wait to hear this list.
They're good things, and you could
All
do.
right, no, here's what we're gonna do. Mark, you and I, as Araya is saying this list, raise your hand if you think you would be able to give up what she's gonna say.
Okay.
You ready?
All right.
All right, I'm ready.
Let's go.
I'm ready.
Oh my God, I know my daughter's not gonna like this one. Number one, for the 40 days, don't buy anything that you don't need.
I could do that.
Okay, just don't need.
I don't want to do it, but I could do it.
I could figure it out.
Put the money that you would have spent into a jar, and you'll be surprised how quickly you'll build up a savings. I
Okay.
thought that was
All right.
neat.
Yeah, we could do that.
Who
All
has
right,
paper
we'll go
money
I
with
could
anymore?
do that one too.
Yeah.
Throw away 40 things for 40 days. So every day, throw away something. Give it to.
that. Yeah. I'm
I
too
might.
clever.
I might take you up on that.
I know.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly.
40 days. One of them you're gonna laugh. 40 days of home organization. So every day you organize one thing or one part of your house. And
I could
Melissa's like, I don't really want.
I need to. That's the
Yeah.
problem.
I need to, but I won't.
Because I'm kind of like and this is no disrespect to those with ADHD, but I do think that my decorating and my organizational skills are very ADHD. I intend, and I've got all the piles of what I intend.
And you have to see
do.
it.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
have to see those organized.
I've got those same piles.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Just make up more piles.
I'm trying to forgive
Number-
myself for those piles.
All right.
Number 4 is a good one too. This one, I don't know. Be honest. For 40 days, no gossiping.
Oh.
We can't talk about the news.
Ah,
can we?
Can't do it. Tell a friend. Tell a Mark. I mean,
That new word is telemarketing. Mark.
Hey, telemark. I love it.
All
I'm
right,
just,
so we know we're not tell our secrets to. Okay, then. Moving on. Number 5. Oh, okay. All right. Let's see. Work out.
When you have to look to God to say this item.
problem.
I don't think I'm going to raise my hand on this. Go
Right.
ahead, Aurea.
Work out daily to take care of the body God gave you.
Oh, yeah.
Daily, not a
I've
couple
done
times
that.
a week. My husband can.
I'll do
I'm
that.
with you, Melissa. Not gonna happen every day.
If it was going to happen, it would have happened. I'm 50.
Yep.
I mean,
Here's another one. This is what I do and don't do sometimes. Don't eat after dinner. You can have dinner.
No
but-
can
that.
do.
I
No
could do
can
that.
do.
Depends what time you
I've
have.
tried.
he didn't
No
say
can do.
drink.
Yeah, no eat
I'm
after.
just-
This one I don't even do, so this is a good one. Easy one. Give up soda.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't even drink
I
soda.
could do that.
Okay, good. All right. This one you guys could, so you're doing this already, I guarantee. Say 3 nice things every day to your spouse and kids.
5.
Not giving up. It's
yeah,
that's easy.
all day long.
Oh, here. Now this is pre-quarantine, so this one we're gonna laugh. Don't eat out for 40 days. I think
That's
we've
so
done
easy.
that.
That's so easy.
What day are we on now? 365?
I'm dying to
Just
go to a
about.
restaurant.
Just about. I know.
Gosh.
Yeah. So if you're saying when we're able to be out and about freely again without fear when everybody's vaccinated,
Then it
I'm
won't
gonna be
happen.
eating out every night.
Me
I think.
too.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
be.
My-
I'm just gonna go stand outside. I'm just gonna
And
be
double
in my
up on the
neighbor-
desserts.
Yeah.
My friend I just talked to yesterday got COVID. He went out one time to one
No
restaurant,
way.
got COVID from one person that had it that was at the table.
Yikes.
See, I don't eat out. So I can't
Nothing
wait
to play
We're
with.
almost there. We're
Yeah.
almost there.
Last
Just be
one.
patient.
This one, let's see if even our kids could do. I could do this one. I'm sure you guys could do. Replace 30 minutes of TV or screen time with 30 minutes extra of devotion or prayer, whatever your faith is.
Whatever you do,
you do.
meditation,
Yoga.
right? Tai
Yep.
Chi,
See,
whatever.
they weren't so bad.
Yeah.
But my thing,
I thought you were going to say chocolate, and I was waiting for the
Yeah.
chocolate. And I was like,
Or
Put on the
sugar.
that's
like,
not
honey,
doable.
no, honey, no.
I
My-
see normal people do that. They give up sugar, they give up wine,
Yeah.
they give up sugar and all that. But here's some other things you can do that aren't part of that. But my challenge to everybody is give those up for any 30 days or 40 days or a week in your life. Like just even say nice things or even, no gossiping or throwing away things, getting your life a little organized and kind of cleansing, even just cleanse for a week. It doesn't always have to be a specific 40 days. We're not
I
under
got a
the law
question
rule.
on that whole deal. If we're not gossiping, what are we talking about?
Well, gossip is untruth now, isn't it?
So isn't prayer really gossiping with God? I mean, honestly.
isn't it?
See what they did to me?
So, but you know what? I just thought of something though. I just thought of something to wrap it up a little bit, because it's interesting how these cleansing things of Lent go right after New Year's resolutions that come again right at the time when we're feeling the worst. So we're
Yep.
post holidays, we're feeling down and depressed, probably
We
with
spend too
COVID.
much at Christmas.
Yeah, we're feeling,
Christmas.
we may feel worse this year because of COVID. So it just shows that we are thirsting for something to make us feel better. And I think the point of random acts of kindness is maybe also with giving up. How about you do 40 days of random acts of kindness?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
I mean,
Why
Love
don't you,
that.
instead of deciding, instead of making it like, oh, I have to sacrifice, oh, woe is me, say, you know what? Okay, I'm going to come up with something creative. I'm just going to do
every
something.
day.
Yeah.
Every
40
day.
days.
There's a woman in Delaware who's made the news because her daughter is autistic, and her daughter has started doing that literally every day, doing
Aw.
random acts of kindness for the community.
Love that.
And now it's made like the Delaware newspaper. Like, have you seen this going on? And she will do it for police officers, for neighbors, for school friends. She paints rocks, she
sweet.
makes gifts, she makes gift bags. So her mother's like every day she wants to do something, and she lets
Nice.
her do it. And so it really is making a difference in her community just
Oh,
by
yeah.
every day doing something nice.
Well, it rubs off when you see people
Mhm.
acting a certain way.
Yeah.
It tends to rub off on you, make you want to act the same way. That's why, you often find groups of really good kids hanging with really good kids, groups of, kind of kids
Yeah.
that want to do the other stuff.
Right.
Like me and the bunch that I hung out with, you
What bunch did you hang out?
birds of a feather, the wow bunch.
Well, when your parents said, who you hanging out with? I mean, I guess they
Yeah.
had a point, right?
Yeah,
really.
exactly.
I have something the 3 of us could do for 40 days. It'd be easier
Uh-oh.
because we can't leave our house. I understand.
There's no bad ideas, Aurea. What are you about to tell us?
How about, which you might understand how this will mean a lot to somebody, because we all do social media and
Right.
sometimes you hear crickets. How about for the next 40 days, every day we reach out to somebody different and just give them a thumbs up that way. Just comment on a post that you say, great.
Give a positive comment on a post.
Yeah, 40
Well,
different people.
that's
love
a
it.
new idea, because most people have gotten out of the habit of doing positive posts
Yes.
on
Yeah.
I
social
love it.
media, haven't they?
Yeah.
I
No,
love
I love
it.
it.
It'll be a
Yes,
nice
I love that.
surprise. So we have to pick somebody different starting today. Go out and do a comment, a positive post on somebody that may not have heard from you a while, or may have never heard from you. Maybe you've never commented anything you've ever done, but they're a fan of yours and they're a follower. And it doesn't matter which social media platform.
I
Let's
think
do
that's
it.
a great
Let's do
idea.
it.
Done deal.
Aurea,
And
okay,
look out, viewers. We may be doing it on your post. You
that's
don't know.
right. At least you
Hello.
didn't bring up chocolate, so that's good.
You
So we're all
give
good.
up chocolate.
I'll post pictures
Not a
of chocolate
thing.
on people's
Oh,
on
there
people's
you go.
comments. That'll make them happy.
Yes, you never give up.
Or nah.
All right, well, this week we are going to do a not so smart, and we may or may not have some Mardi Gras type themes, but let's see. Mark, you want to go first?
Sure. I'll go first. Take a look at these, and they're absolutely gorgeous. And I didn't know what they were at first, but upon closer look and closer inspection, these are Zulu coconuts. During Mardi Gras.
Zulu coconuts.
Zulu coconuts, yes. The signature throw of the Zulus and the painted coconut. It's a Mardi Gras tradition.
Okay.
Problem is, have you ever felt a real coconut? Pretty darn heavy, isn't it?
And
Have you ever been in the
hard.
islands and
shell
picked
is
hard as a rock, right? So back in the 80s when people were hucking them, right? Because you know how they throw the beads?
Oh,
You throw the
no.
painted coconuts too. Well, there started being a wave of lawsuits, right? Because this is not so smart when you're throwing
Not so
a pounded or 2 pound
Don't
coconut.
throw a coconut. That seems
Hello?
pretty.
How about a
Logical.
Nerf ball? Make them Nerf balls.
You would think,
Yeah,
but
fake
back in
coconut.
the 80s, people hadn't thought about that. So they even had to come up with a law that helped people stop throwing the coconuts. Yes, the legislature came up with the coconut bill. SB 188 is the coconut bill. And it added Zulu coconuts to a list of items such as beads, doubloons, and cups that enjoyed official immunity from personal injury lawsuits.
Well, I mean, and people, when you say cups, you're not talking about Red Solo. I bet that people were throwing glasses.
Right, and
Boom.
ceramic cups.
I mean, come on. I mean, I know you're drunk and stuff, but I mean, and imagine the facial expressions of the people that were putting that bill together. Like, okay, I know this is ridiculous, but we have to bring this before the order. One
Right.
coconut.
So
one.
now people, cut them open up the inside, scoop it out, take out the milk, take out the meat,
Okay.
put them back together, paint them. And now when you throw them, it doesn't hurt so much.
Can't use like a styrofoam ball or a Nerf ball or something. Does it have to be a coconut?
Well, I mean,
Well,
you
there's a
could, but
product
it's-
idea. There's a product idea for Nerf.
There you go.
Yeah,
Fake-
I mean, hello.
fake
Because
Zulu
even getting hit with a
coconuts.
hollow coconut would hurt.
Yeah.
You would think. I'm just gonna look out for flying coconuts next
Well,
time
maybe
I'm
if
in
you
New
try-
Orleans.
Maybe if you're drunk, it don't hurt until the next morning. I don't.
Well,
know.
that's probably the problem.
'Cause
People
I've
wake
been-
up
I've
with
been-
this with a knot.
Yeah, I haven't been to Mardi
Coconut.
Gras,
A
but I've certainly
coconut.
been. I've
It's a
certainly been
coconut.
coconut. I love it. I've been to the
See what
French
she did
Quarter.
there?
Yeah, I see what she did. I've been to the French Quarter, and I remember going in. I don't remember going home.
There you
So,
go.
There you go.
No one ever does.
No one ever
Oh
does.
my God.
All right, so my not so smart is about a guy who was paying it forward, but not in the way that made somebody happy. Okay, so our friend is in Orlando, Florida, and
Florida,
he-
man.
I know, right? And so
Trouble
his name-
already.
his name is James to one girlfriend, and his name is Marcus to the other girlfriend.
Marcus.
So in Orange City, he's what did I say his first name was? James.
James.
Yeah, James, because I think his real name is
Oh, the
Joseph. The
memory
reason I couldn't
test.
remember is because his real name is Joseph. His fake name is James to Orange City girl or woman. In Orlando, the woman knows him as Marcus. All right, so why is this important? Plenty of guys date more than one girl. Plenty of guys have said
Sure.
one name or the other.
Mark.
Yeah.
Well, James was in Orange City and happened to rummage through his girlfriend's stuff and found a ring that he decided to take. Okay, that's bad enough. He
Mhm.
went down to Orlando and he proposed as Marcus to the other girl with said ring.
No
And
way.
that girl on social media happened to see this other girl and that ring that looked familiar to make her go to her jewelry box and find that it was gone and that they were dating the same person. Because I think the reason she noticed is because her boyfriend was in the picture with the girl.
No
Oh
way.
my gosh.
You big dummy.
You picked on me again. It's
Yes.
time again.
So philanderer
Yeah.
and a thief.
Not a
Not so
philanthropist.
smart.
It's a
Not so
bad
smart.
combination.
That's
Oh
right.
my God.
And social media. Throw
And
social media
yeah,
in the
just
mix, get you every time.
The crazy mix right there.
Oh my God.
That's what it
Right.
is.
Not so smart criminals get me every
I
time.
know it's no Zulu coconut, but
No,
he's
but it's
got one for a
close.
brain. He's got one for a brain.
Coconuts for a brain. Oh my gosh, that really isn't not so smart. Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
gosh.
Big dummy is right. Holy cow. Okay. Some people just should not go into a life of crime. Not good at it. All right. Mine is about a little bit of a life of crime. If you go to Mardi Gras, it would be, you want to be smart. You want to be not so smart. It would be not so smart to fall for the scammers that follow you around, being really friendly, trying to start a conversation with you. And they're going to ask you this question, and it's, I bet you $10 I can guess where you got those shoes from. Don't fall for it because you'd be not so smart. You got, because they're going to say, oh, you can't guess where I got my shoes from. Yep. So they give them the $10 and it says, you got one on your right foot and one on the left foot, and you got them on Bourbon Street in New Orleans, Louisiana right now.
Gotcha.
Like,
Gotcha.
Mark in the back of his mind is going, I'm going to use that sometime.
Yes,
I'm going to
I'm
use that.
using that
it's a
one.
party game. It's a party game. So
Oh,
just
yikes.
be
Too
smart.
funny.
And another not so smart, and if you're Mardi Gras, I even say in New York City, don't keep your wallet in your back pocket. That's a not
Never
so
do that.
smart oldie but goodie.
Never do that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's
I
why I
know
like
the-
to wear my New York Yankee hat around. I'm from New York. I won't fall for it. I've already seen the shell game got me. You know,
Be
all the best scammers have already come at me. So not gonna.
You've
I'm
already seen
darn sure not gonna fall for it in Louisiana.
That's right.
Look out, Mark's coming. New Yorkers are in town.
Right.
All right, guys, let's go out and do some random acts of kindness. And viewers, if you've done some random acts of kindness or it's been done to you, let us know, post them, because nothing would make us happier than hearing good news and seeing other people make other people smile. Especially,
Get some ideas.
Give
Get
us
some
some
ideas too.
yes,
Yep.
good idea. Give us
Post
some
them
ideas.
up.
Yeah.
This is the time. We all need it now. We're hopefully coming out of this quarantine. Spring is
Please, Lord.
coming, and it's such a nice, the flowers will be blooming. It's
We're getting
make some
there.
hearts bloom and give some
Yeah.
kindness. So, guys, we got some people to find, some comments to make.
That's
and make
right.
people smile.
That's
So,
right. Some
have a-
chocolate drops to give. There you go.
You're mailing me some chocolate next. We don't give up chocolate. That's a big
Can you tell that I like chocolate? It's weird.
I
Mark,
didn't
you
get
like
that impression. I didn't get that impression. I'm all
Mark.
chocolate, but I didn't get that impression.
See, I like chocolate. See, Mark?
There you go. How you doing?
All right, I should end the show 10 minutes ago. Sorry, people. we're on overdrive now.
I'll take it one step further. That guy with the shoes and stuff, the only thing he didn't say is, and, would you like to leave your shoes on my bedroom floor or something? He's added something to that.
Hello.
That Araya cut out.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Good on the end of my bed. I got it.
They just-
Anywhere, but we try. So, random acts of kindness, people. See you on social media. See you later. Bye from Smart Dog. Have a great day.